price to build a middle class in America. Now, I want to say a few words before I talk more specifically about our situation. I want to say a few words about the man who invited me here tonight, Representative Peter Ujvagi. Leadership that you can respect. When the TV station asked me why I came, I said I came specifically because Representative Peter Ujvagi asked me to come. And I believe in loyalty. And Peter Ujvagi, through his leadership on the budget, has provided me and the people of Ohio with a budget passed through the House of Representatives that we can feel proud of. They took a budget that I submitted and they made it better. And Peter was vital to that process. And so, Peter, thank you for being my friend, and I'm happy to be here tonight to support you. Now, there's another young man that I want to acknowledge here tonight who has also been incredibly helpful to me. He is a part of the Democratic leadership team in Columbus. Not long on the legislative board, but he's bright, he's creative, he's courageous, and he has also been a critical part of our efforts to craft and to pass a budget that is true to democratic principles and democratic ideals. And so I would like young Matt to stand up and be recognized for what he's done. Now, you may be thinking that I'm saying these wonderful things because I need these two men and I'm pandering to them.
Yes.
And it's true. I do need them, but the fact is that we need each other. And we need each other as never before. And so for the local leadership here in this community, who worked so hard to make sure that Ohio voted for Barack Obama, and who continuously,
you're on video now,
year after year, and election after election, and Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur to Washington to fight not only for Toledo and Northwestern Ohio, to fight for all of us.
Come on, Mike, smile, you're on video.
And for the local leaders, those who serve on commissions and
this is a blogger interruption.
School boards and in the mayor's positions and are willing to serve. I want to thank you. I don't remember the Great Depression, but I know what it's like to be poor. And there are a lot of people tonight who are experiencing what I experienced as a young kid. But think about this. During the First Great Depression, there were no safety net programs to protect people. Organized labor became stronger thereafter, but workers were pretty much on their own. There was no FDIC protection for people who put money in the bank. Can you imagine what life would be like today if there was no FDIC protection for bank deposits? I think people would be standing in front of the bank with their duffel bags asking for their money. There would be a run on our banks. Can you imagine what life would be like tonight if Social Security checks were not continuing to flow out to people? Can you imagine what life would be like tonight if there was no Medicare program? And our seniors could not depend upon this vital program to provide them health care in their time of need when they were old? you imagine what life would be like tonight if there was no Medicaid program, providing care for people in nursing homes and care for poor children in need of health care and care for disabled people? Think about that. Can you imagine what life would be like if there was no unemployment compensation program to help those who have lost their jobs through no fault of their own, but because of this deep recession? Can you imagine what life would be like if there were no food stamp program for people who were hungry and in need of nutrition? These are programs, my friends, that have not always existed. They came into being because of our party and because of our ancestors. It's a part of our heritage, our party. So we can be proud as Democrats because it has been the Democratic Party that has supported the programs that have built a strong middle class in this country, that has created the programs necessary to take care of the most vulnerable among us in time of need. And now we find ourselves today. We had 16 years of Republican domination in Columbus, Ohio, and we had a long nightmare of Republican domination in Washington, D.C. And we had a president that seemed not to understand the Constitution of this country. We had a president who supported policies that created a great gulf between average working people and the super rich in America. We fought a war without paying for it. And so our debt exploded. And so we find ourselves now in really difficult circumstances. My responsibility as governor is to tell the truth, I think. And we are in a deep recession, and no one knows how deep it's going to go or how long it will last. Ohio, under Democratic leadership, froze college tuition at our public institutions for 2 years after 10 straight years, when the Republicans let tuition increase 9% a year for 10 straight years. And we put an end to that. So we put an end to that, and we said we've got to make college affordable for our young people. And we froze college for 2 years, college tuition, and we're going to freeze it at all of our community colleges and branch campus for the next 2 years. We're going to freeze it at all of our major campuses for a 3rd year, and the 4th year there will be no tuition increase exceeding 3.5%. No other state in America has done that with college tuition. In addition to that, we put over $100 million into more scholarship aid and assistance to college students. We don't want a single young person in Ohio to be prevented from going to college simply because they don't have the financial resources. So we want to make sure that every kid in Ohio can go to college. And then in this budget, we're trying to focus on elementary and secondary education. And you know the struggle we've gone through in this state for over 10 years.